Welcome back. In this video, I'll be lowering the starboard side or right side stringer onto the bulkheads that are positioned onto the strongback. And this is probably a good time to thank all my friends who didn't show up to help me out.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said. Boy, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got troubles, and I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together, we can see it through, 'cause you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Some other folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger and smarter too.
Okay, so the first step is to remove the frames from each of the bulkheads. And I completely removed frames 10 through 13. I marked the studs in the ceiling so I could install a kayak hoist. Before lifting the stringer into place, I measured the width of the stringer to ensure that it would fit within the slots of the bulkhead. At frame 3, my stringer was 49 millimeters wide. Therefore, I had to do some sanding. I did not run the stringer through a planer. Instead, Brian and I hand power planed the stringer along the length. So the stringer could be a slightly different thickness at each frame. I repeated this process of measuring and sanding at every frame. While this sanding method did not produce a perfectly rectangular slot, I found that using a plane was just too tedious for me to make work. Therefore, I'll fill in the gaps with thickened epoxy at a later date. So here's where I really started getting serious about using the hoist and the ladders to raise the stringer on my own. I don't know the actual weight of the stringer, but I did know that the front would be lighter than the back. And I was right. So now I had to work on lifting the stringer higher and closer to the boat. For this next maneuver, I used the hoist as my safety net. And then I just lift it in place. It's that easy. Unless, of course, you forget to put the frames on the stringer. So now I string the closed frames 3 and 4 over the stringer. I'm going to stop this video here and seek advice on the Dan Lee Boat Building Forum. I want to make sure that I have the stringers seated far enough in the bulkheads. In the next video, I plan to seat the port side stringer and coat each bulkhead with 3 layers of epoxy. Till next time, cheers.